Good morning again, friends. It's Bob bringing you another reflection and a explanation of why house churches. Why is it so important for us to gather together in smaller communities, house churches, and to become disciples of Jesus? And the reality is that without those small communities, we simply stay the way that we are. That you could be in a large church meeting, you could experience Sunday morning and Wednesday night, the same kind of large meetings for your entire life. You can be more informed, but you won't be more formed. No, the forming happens in the small. The forming happens in the smaller communities. And today I want to talk to you just about the meal. That as I have reflected on in some of my messages, I read a book called A Meal with Jesus, and it was a very interesting kind of expose in looking at the Gospel of Luke and Luke's whole focus on that practically everything significant happening in Jesus's ministry happens over a meal. It's kind of crazy how consistent that is throughout Luke's gospel, that there's a meal and there's something significant going on with that. The meal is important. As I've been talking with different house church facilitators going, forward, they're like, well, we might actually do, for quite a while, we might actually just have meals together and take our time and moving into the three kind of major movements that we see going on in a house church. Those movements are connect, form, and express. Connection, formation, expression. That we are with those three movements, that building that connection is so important to experience all the other ones and to optimize those different things. And we connect around food. I mean, it's kind of a Christian thing, isn't it? That we like food, and I'm, kind of have taken that into an art form, that I really, really like food. I like cooking good food. I like experiencing good food. I like tasting good food. I like just the whole experience. Actually, one of my son-in-laws says, Bob, just nobody experiences the entire culinary thing like you do. And different people have said, you should write a column, like a food critic column. But it's like, I'm not a food critic, I'm a food enthusiast. I just love experiencing the sensing with food and with the people that I'm eating with, and just being able to talk about it and enjoying those different things. That's part of what awaits you in a house church, is so many significant things will happen with Jesus around a meal. Now, one of the things that we're encouraging our house churches to do is from time to time to have a meal and do like a love feast type of a thing, like the 1 Corinthians 11 is talking about, where we get together to have a meal together, but at the beginning of it, that we actually take the Lord's Supper together and it's part of our meal, rather than a whole thing separated by itself in the main sanctuary in the large meeting at church, that we take this together. As I have said to you before, I remember doing this with a Messianic Jewish rabbi, a friend of mine, years ago. They invited us over for Shabbat for a Friday night dinner. And at the beginning of that, we had the Lord's Supper in a very Jewish way. And then we had the meal together, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful. It was like, and I've done that, here and there. We're encouraging our house churches to do that over a meal, take the Lord's Supper and experience the communal meal. It's not just a meal where we're taking these elements. It's a meal where we're sharing not only God, but we're sharing each other. And in that, we have this deep and lasting connection. Again, these are places where God, the Holy Spirit, comes and interacts with us, comes and changes us, comes and resets us, comes and forms and shapes us in community. He does this in community. If you think about it, we're going to be enveloped back into the community at the center of the universe, Father, Son, and Spirit, who have always been eternally dwelling in community. Jesus prayed in John 17 that we would be wrapped up in that oneness that they experience, and that we would experience that both in a vertical way and in a horizontal way. The meal is part of that. It's so important. And I want you to be able to eat. It doesn't even have to be great food. It just has to be a food that you're experiencing with other people. Now, if it's great food, good with that. So anyway, all of that to say, join a house church. Join a house church. You're going to hear me say this. I'm not going to stop saying this. This is going to be something that I'm going to say till I finish my career and then past the end of my career. It's that important. Join a house church. Join today. I love you. I'm saying these things because I love you. God bless you.